Yeah. Um,
I'm gonna just I watched two of the three of these games that's on the screen. I watched the Norfolk State game and the Howard game, and I did watch the South Carolina State. I'm gonna talk about Norfolk, and I'm gonna tell you this was the most complete game Norfolk played the whole year, honestly. And they actually had their quarterback threw for over 100 yards, 117 yards, and the rushing they did 170 yards rushing, and they stopped Howard when they needed to stop him to win the game. This is the first win they had in 6 years for their homecoming. It was a very big win. They kept the pressure on Howard, and again Howard struggled offensively, but Norfolk played a good game. I was pretty impressed by where they played this game. This was the Norfolk team I think people and I think Coach Oz was hoping to have when we want to have a little bit more balance, even though 100 yards passing is not balanced per se, but it's better than 80 and 75 yards that we've seen from the quarterback. So overall, Norfolk played a game. They won it by 1 point. South Carolina State, man, listen, I watched this game and you talking about, hey, let's get ready. And I think it was South Carolina State's homecoming. And you talking about make the homecoming crowd happy. They were singing and dancing and everything in between. Hey, they are ready for Thursday night. And he got those guys, some of his stars out of there, rested them up fourth quarter. They're going to be ready Thursday night. So I saw this game. And once again, North Carolina A&T, it is what it is. Like I say, lost to Campbell. What would we expect any more than that?
all right. And the big one for the week on the MEAC side was this game. It kind of, in my opinion, it kind of turned out the way we thought it would. Um, the kind of the way that all Morgan State games kind of end up. They play extremely hard. It's always low scoring, but they never can score enough to win. And so that's kind of pretty much their season in a nutshell. What did you see, or what do you think about this outcome,
Uh,
guys?
Coach Wilson does a great job defensively, but North Carolina Central was shooting themselves in the foot. You know, I thought, they had the game under control because, of course, Morgan State is not a big scoring team. And so they kept, that two possession game above them. I wouldn't necessarily say they controlled the game, but they kept shooting themselves in the foot on this one. But uh, they really dominated the game. They had 22 first downs to 11 for Morgan State. They had 400 yards total offense. But the object of the game is to get in there compared to Morgan State's 200 yards total offense. Morgan State didn't have a lot or was doing a lot to even threaten. Uh, Morgan State couldn't throw the ball. So I know that Coach Trey Oliver, he'll take the victory, but I know he's going to come back and have his boys ready for next week.
I'm like, Coach, I watched this game. I was very interested in this game because, again, we always hear about the defense for Morgan State. And I think that North Carolina Central, man, you can say they were looking ahead and not. But again, Walker Harris, let me always make sure I call his name correctly. Walker Harris, 18 to 31, 216 yards, one TD, one interception. But Jamari Taylor, this boy went nuts this game. 26 carries for 196 yards. Again, really, this game, the score wasn't indicative of how dominant Central was. But again, just the way more, if you had to try to win this game, they made the game ugly. They did what they had to try to do, but they just could not get any offense going in this game. And that's why North Carolina Central wins this game. And like I say, are ready to go into that big showdown on Thursday night.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it'd be nice if I could find this, pull this screen back up. Hold on, guys. There we go. All right. Next up, these are the SWAC games that occurred last week. We can just go sweep over them. Jackson State and Bethune-Cookman. That's pretty much went the way we thought it would. Mississippi Valley and UAPB. I actually thought this game would be much more competitive than that, but it looks like
It was
UAPB.
early. I watched this game. It was early. This game was tied late, and UAPB pulled away late.
I was at this Texas A&M Commerce Prairie View game. It was their homecoming, and Prairie View pretty much handled them very, very well at the start until and pretty much until all the fans left, after halftime, and so and they kind of got some trash, some empty calories and made the game closer than it was pure. But Prairie View had control of this game the entire time, and then this Alabama State Alabama A&M game. I'm waiting for somebody to clip Alabama State with a 4-string quarterback, and it cannot. Other than FAMU, it seemed like nobody else can do it. What do you guys think?
Well, they're being very creative with what they have, and they're playing great defense. So that makes, and they got a great special team. So as long as they can play field position, and I think that's what happens. They don't get long drives. They get short drives. They score off of turnovers. They score off of keeping you backed up. And I think they're doing very well over there, Coach Robinson, with the situation they're in.
Okay. Let me tell you what was interesting about this game, and this was so great about HBCU Coaches Corner. We actually had the defensive backs coach from Alabama State last week on this game. He had his defensive backs, corner blitz, safety blitz, making big plays. That defense was all over the place. They dominated this game. And once again, Alabama State, going back to their DNA, running the ball. And like I say, again, run the ball. DeQuan Kinsey, 18 carries, 156 yards. Holesclaw backed him up with 10 carries, 52 yards. And Kareem Keat, again, we talk about the 4th-string quarterback, but looks like he's the 1st string. He's going to finish out the rest of the season. Hey, he was efficient. 14 for 20, 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, Alabama State played Alabama State football. And once again, I guess, Coach, we have the same thing with Alabama A&M. Xavier Langford started the game, threw for 200 yards, 13-26, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, got pulled from the game. Cornelius Brown came in with 5 of 11, 100 yards and 102 yards and 1 interception. And it looks like, again, Coach Maynard just really can't figure out what he wants to do. Now, Keenan Hambrick, 5 receptions, 139 yards, but the rushing for Alabama A&M, only 61 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
So, again.
That's been A&M's MO, struggle, on the ground. They like to throw it around. But let me say this, because we are talking about Alabama State and we have mentioned Jackson State. And I've made a statement that I felt that Alabama State might be the team to beat Jackson State, because they play great defense, because they pound, because they are a possession type team. As I say that Alabama State will be the test for Jackson State, I think, and because of those reasons. And of course, I'm always a number guy. When I do look at the team in the numbers, I think Alabama State would play them very, very tough. Jackson State has been turning that ball over. And the thing about what's great about Alabama State is they can stop your possessions. So if you don't score in some of those possessions, then they'll take that ball and they'll eat clock up as well, because they're going to pound it and they're going to run it. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a great game, even though it ain't coming yet. I look forward to that game. And I'll
totally
say that,
agree.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make a quick statement about this Jackson State Bethune game. And Jackson State, in his last 2 games, had nobody scored on them in the second half. That is focus. And Bethune came out hot. Score, I believe, was tied at halftime. Home, like I said, my daughter's down there, Bethune-Cookman. She texted me, said, "Oh, we about to beat Jackson." I said, "No, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Let me help you. Look, go get you another drink, you and your girls, because there's a second half of football." Needless to say, I didn't get another text after that text.
Yeah.
So, I got to say, hey, man, listen, Fortillion, great catch. I mean, Herb Mulligan doing Herb Mulligan things and stuff like that, man. And I just want to say something. And, Coach, and I don't want to get too far on this, but I watched all these games, and we're talking about it. I have seen more 50-yard runs that I have ever seen in SWAC football. Is it just a function of people not teaching tackling anymore? Is that what that
Well,
is?
well, the game is spread it out now. It's a finesse game. It ain't a pound game anymore. It's a finesse game. So yeah, I think the team that tackles the better and can tackle in the open field are teams that are successful. And that's one of the things. If I ever became, a head coach again, I would tell my defensive coordinator that we would have tackling drills every day
Every
because
day.
that's what it is. It's a spread game. You miss one tackle, he gone. And it ain't just happening in the SWAC. It's happening through college football and professional.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because I didn't watch the game. You guys knew I was at Prairie View Homecoming. How did Jackson State do with their turnover situation? Because I believe they have a turnover problem, though it didn't really show itself up in the FAMU game. But I believe they have a turnover problem. And can you guys tell me what was the turnover situation?
Which one you talking about against the Bethune game?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull that up.
I got it.
Okay.
They had team stats. They said they didn't have any turnovers. It wasn't no turnover.
I didn't think so. I don't know what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, 0 turnover. Well, maybe they fixed it. Maybe they fixed it because I believe they had a turnover problem. Like they had several games where they were turning the ball over.
Right, they have. But they rushed for 350 yards against Pine Bluff. Against Bethune-Cookman. And they're not going to do that against Alabama State. They barely can throw the football. When they throw the football, they turn the football over. And that's why I'm saying about the Alabama State Jackson State game. It's going to be a close game.
Coach, you say they won't run, and I'm make a bet with you, Coach, when they play. But at the end of the day, I saw Alabama State play North Carolina Central, and they can be run on. And I think Jackson State is going to be the best running team they've played all year. And Jackson State will have at least 200 yards rushing against Alabama State.
Look. And I'm betting that's not going to be true. I see them running 200 yards on Alabama State. You just don't run 200 yards on nobody. I don't think nobody in the conference is averaging 200 yards. But I get it. We definitely see.
Okay, this is one of the big game results that we can move on to, which was Grambling and Texas Southern. I picked Grambling in this game. I didn't think Texas Southern had what it took to beat a Grambling team that I thought would bounce back and play much better. Just like Bethune-Cookman for my man here. I guess I'm down that hill every week trying to pick Grambling to get a win. They just not gonna do it, I guess.
This is what's so great about technology. I had like 2 TVs, 2 laptops, a phone. I had all these games on. And again, Grambling being one of my schools, and I knew we were playing Texas Southern. I really watched this game. And Miles Carlin went down in this game. DJ Bailey came in and finished the game out. Chase Wilson started, played well for Texas Southern. Texas Southern's defense, once again, got it done, man. They got it done. They got it done. They kept the game close, won it in the end pretty much. And, I just think Grambling, looking at this game, when you watch this game, you thought Grambling was going to finally do something, but they just couldn't ever get anything going offensively. And Texas Southern, you got to give them credit. They ran for 189 yards rushing. Again, it was a team effort on the rushing attack. They had balance, 177 yards passing. So, again, Texas Southern played kind of their Texas Southern game. Grambling had 154 yards rushing, only 102 yards passing. And, again, when you're talking about the receivers that Grambling's got, again, you got to get more than that. And, like I said, this is the reason why we're concerned about Grambling. Texas Southern, like I said, with the win at home.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything you want to add, Coach?
No, when I look over the whole season, it's like everybody is kind of struggling offensively in the second half. Nobody's putting up big points in the second half except but Jackson State for
Yeah.
some reason. I don't know if it's they're not setting up plays from the first half. They're not making adjustments in the second half, or let's just say the defense are making better adjustments at halftime. We could say that as well. So, it makes the game interesting. It's a lot of parity in the conference, and it makes it real challenging, and it makes it exciting that now everybody still in the middle of the year have an opportunity to win the conference.
You know, this game right here uh, reminded me of that what I thought I saw at Southern Homecoming was not probably real. I saw a team that was able to execute, run the ball consistently, and make a few plays here and there in the passing game. None of that came to fruition in this game. Matter of fact, even though there were times when the game was very close, Southern never was really able to mount any offense of any significance. And so even though there was a period of time where they were one score away, it seemed like FAMU was 40 points up because they couldn't get any offensive production. I'm not sure what the stats was. I'm sure you guys are looking at it, but I'm saying this reminded me of the Southern that I thought would show up this season.
406 to 205 total offense.
Okay, yeah.
Southern had 205. Florida A&M had 406. That's complete dominance.
Yeah, they doubled them up.
They had the ball 34 minutes to 26 minutes. So that one tells the story. They had two third downs out of 16 tries. At least they was 2 for 2 on fourth down. They passed for 83 yards and they rushed for 122.
How many completions that they has? Because I'm trying to remember how many completed passes.
11 to 27.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Coach. No, please. Go ahead.
I can't say enough about Florida A&M. I don't know. Maybe my expectations was a little higher. I'm gonna say it was. You throw the ball 34 times. You complete 26 of your passes. That's exceptional. But you only scored 24 points.
They suck in the red zone. I'm gonna be honest with
you. Yeah, I just don't.
Now, I will say they're running the first touchdown. I think they scored. They ran one of Willie's plays. Why
y'all keep saying that? Willie's play.
Am I lying?
Let me say this. I'm gonna not cut you off, Rocky, but what I will say, and to tie in there was a lot of outrage from the FAMU community about what this team is. And what was interesting, this team is a passing team, it's not a running team. And they came out actually throwing the ball, throwing it around the yard, looking like, okay, now we see some potential here where the offense is moving. And again, mistakes. And then out of nowhere, Junior comes into the game when Richardson was kind of cooking. And I think that had to reset the whole team. The offense, this is going to be one of those, and again, we'll see what happens at the end of the season. But when you see a guy like Gassett and Ace Cobb, these guys can go get it. And again, we're running stretch plays, fourth down and inches we don't go for, but 4th and 3 we do. These are things that, again, that the FAMU faithful just, not happy about. But I will say this, with that being said, this is the best defensive game that the defense played.
Yeah.
Defense, this defense actually played like we thought they were going to play all year. They didn't allow the big run, which everybody was looking for. They actually outrushed Southern because Southern Mr. Campbell, we're going to ram for 200 yards. You saw what we did at all corner. And the Jack State people was giving them play. Hey, run this play. This is what we ran against FAMU. None of that worked. None of that worked. This is the first time in my life that I saw Southern and Jack State people rooting for the same team, rooting against the same team. So that really tickled me. But no, FAMU's defense stepped up. But once again, this is something that Coach Colsey and Coach Henry and Coach Burris, you see, and even Gasser was like, I'm open. He it was a play that was ran. He was like, I'm open. And you just gotta go with what you know. You gotta, and Coach, you notice you got to get your best players the ball. I think we're trying to set up things and be spread when sometimes you just gotta, hey, Jack State understands, give Herb Mulligan the ball, throw it to Fortillion. You know what I'm saying? Give your playmakers the ball. And I think FAMU has just not understand. Ace Cobb, Jamar Gassett, let's throw the ball and then set up the run. But again, you give up 6 points, you're going to win the football game. And one thing I will say, and this was important, this is just a personal thing, we could not let Southern be the school that broke that streak in Bragg. Because listen, now Jack State folks, they've been on FAMU people's necks. I mean, this is ridiculous. But Southern folks is a whole nother level of the stuff they would have been talking if they would have been the one to break that streak. So I'm telling you.
They would have called it Mumford East.
Man, listen, if Southern had been, I mean, man, because when I say Southern folks know how to talk, and I'm going to say this because my nephew, Adrian Cook, and I like Cook, but I literally had to block him. And the only reason I had to block him because I do business, and he was tagging me so much. People in my bed like, who is it? Are you arguing with someone? I'm like, nah, man, I don't argue like that. So them Southern folks will get on your neck, man. They will wear you out. So that's why I was like, and this was the one game out of the whole season that I was not thinking football. I was thinking just, Lord, please do not let Southern break this streak. I'm not going to even lie. Because Southern, I mean, Jesus, they would have been talking like no other. So like I say, we dominated the game overall, 24-6. But to your point, Coach, again, was it 17 points of offense? Because one of the touchdowns was a run back by Gass, a great play that he made on a run back. So again, 24 points. Like I say, this FAMU team got to score more. But like I said, the defense can keep maintaining. Like I said, we should go crazy. But no, like I said,
I want to bring this up, Coach, because this was our predictions before we go to our predictions for the game. I want the people up top to look at what we had. The people watching, kind of look at our predictions for the West. Go over it, Coach, and I think I overvalue Prairie View. I overvalue Grambling, and we all, undervalue Texas Southern. And so I think in this situation, Alcorn still has a chance to come out with a conference victory, but it's looking highly unlikely with those guys having to face some really tough games coming up.
Well,
what do you think about your?
But once again, guys, I mean, it's so much parity. We don't know what's going to happen from game to game. It's no one dominating team besides, to me, it's Jackson State. And at the end of the day, everybody is, playing right there. Next in line to me is Florida A&M, and the reason why I put Florida A&M over Alabama State is because they got a quarterback. So
here are East predictions. Here are East predictions right here.
Yeah, I had Jackson State 3, but we all got the big 3, right?
Yeah. I think coming in, I wanted to take credit for Alabama State, Jackson State, and FAMU all being in the mix, but when I think at the bottom 3, was anybody gonna?
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed on number 4 pick because I told you guys, and I said this when everybody knows it. I said FAMU and Jack State was 1A, however you want to flip it. It's proven that to be true. I don't think anybody's close to FAMU in the same class as and Jack State actually this year is in a class by themselves. I think they're on a tier. I think we're on a tier by ourselves. I think everybody else is kind of just grouped together. But I'm just gonna keep saying this. Bethune-Cookman, come on, man. Y'all let me down. Y'all let me down. But the rest of it, I do have a bet with Jay White from Alabama A&M. I said they would only win 2 SWAC games. I think I might be able to skate because I think they snuck one game. I didn't think they were going to win. So I'm going to have to see. If not, I'm going to have to wear Alabama A&M sweatshirt, which would be totally disrespectful.
All right, guys. These are our games coming up on the MEAC side. We got a big game, and we got these games coming up. They only have 6 teams, so it's only and then we put a Tennessee State game in here as well.
These are all CAA schools other than
this one.
Tennessee. Am I looking at the right?
Yeah. You're right.
This ain't nobody MEAC anyway on this.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, this is not no MEAC. This is what's funny. What is funny? All 3 of them teams need to be in the MEAC. Can we say that though? Jesus.
All right. So, what about this? What do you guys think about this game? I'm not gonna pick North Carolina NCAT. I'm not gonna pick them.
But William and Mary, UT Martin over Tennessee State, and I'm gonna go Villanova over Hamilton.
All right, you gonna pick all the whites, huh? You just gonna pick all the whites, huh, Coach?
Well, UT Martin is a good program. A&T ain't no good. And Villanova, I think, will beat Hampton. Yes, I guess so.
What about you, Mr. Campbell?
I'm gonna go with Coach. I think he's 100% right on all those picks. And like I say, I'm just gonna keep saying this. UT Martin is, like I said, they're 5-3, second in the Big South. That's the reason why I see why Coach made that pick. But North Carolina A&T. I mean, and shout out to them, for what they're doing academically. But they really are going to have to make a decision on what they want to be. I saw the girls basketball team. I think they're preseason, but that football team and what they're going to end up. They keep saying they don't have the money to pay that coach out. But what do you do, Coach? I mean, you're just going to let him go because it's going to, like you say, Coach, you said it's going to drag the whole school down. Coach said it's going to drag the whole school down. Are you going to go through this season and go through another season,
Coach,
knowing it's not going to get any better?
Tell me who sits up at a bar and has some drinks and argue over whose engineering program is the best, or whose business school is the best, or journalistic school. You know what I mean? You'd be like, man, we got a great engineering school. Okay, great. But what about the football program?
Now, Coach,
man, I enrolled it up.
It depends on which bar you go to now, Coach. Because if you're around them Howard and Morehouse folks, that's the only thing they're going to argue about. They ain't going to argue about no sports. So if you go to one of them bars,
because that's all they can argue about.
Hey, man, Morehouse folks will argue you about everything but a sport. Trust me. I'm around them jokers every day.
Well, I just left Baltimore 2 weeks ago, and we sure didn't argue about no engineering and health medical school or nothing like that. But I understand exactly what you said.
All right, Coach. This is the big one, Coach, and this is on ESPN this Thursday, and I can't wait. To see my man Trey Oliver against my man Tennis Berry. I think this is going to be a great showcase of MEAC football. This reminds me of last year when I watched Morgan State play North Carolina Central, wasn't it? And it was a really competitive game. I think it was a 10-6 game last year. I'm gonna have to look at the conditions. What'll be the conditions for this game? But in this game right here, I got to go with the home team, which is North Carolina Central, and I got to, the best coach in HBCU football, in my opinion, is Trey Oliver, and I got to go with Trey Oliver.
I second it. I think North Carolina Central can score. South Carolina State, they're going to run the ball. They're going to play solid defense. But I see Trey Oliver getting in the end zone more than them. So North Carolina.
So Zach tells us that NCCU isn't the home team. They're not the home team.
Yeah, it's at South Carolina State.
All right. So if that's the case, I'm still going with NCCU.
Yeah, and a fun fact, which I love, and Coach, I know you're getting ready to break down some more. They are letting people in for free. You log on. They say they want to bring the city out on a Thursday night. So I like the fact that they're doing that. I like the fact that they know they need to get the crowd in there and make this a game that can get loud. So shout out to the athletic. I don't know who the new athletic director is over at South Carolina State, but shout out for the fact that they're saying, you know what, sometimes you can't make all the money. You can make it in another way by bringing in the people that maybe have not seen the South Carolina State game and enjoying it. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to work out by letting everybody in for free. And also, too, they're logging. They have to log into a database, so they're actually capturing their names and emails. So this is the potential to actually sell them tickets going forward. So I actually think this is a really smart thing.
Well, the thing too is that the money is made on concessions and parking, the real money. So hopefully that's part of their plan.
Well, they got an extra $40 to go eat some more popcorn and drink.
Yeah, buy a hot dog. If y'all end up, if any of our followers out there that's going to this game and they going for free, buy a hot dog, buy something, buy a cold drink or something, man.
Shout out to Nate Cochran. Thanks, Sean. Shout out, hey man, listen, I like when ADs understand what the assignment is. That is because a lot of people. How many times we've seen those Thursday games have been like 8 people in the stands?
Yeah.
How many times have we seen that? I think this thing is going to be nuts in that stand on a Halloween night and things like that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you how big this game is. And again, I'm leaving to go to Tallahassee tomorrow. There's a big alumni party Thursday night. I'm not going to that party because I'm gonna be in my hotel room watching this game. That's how big this game is to me.
Oh,
but
man.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, so both coaches are friends of the show. Both coaches, if we had to give the coaches a grade, we've already given Chinnisberry. Like I say, some people on this show want to give him an A. Other folks will give him an A. Trey Oliver, we would consider the dean of the coaches right now in HBCU football. I think this is going to be a tremendous game, but I just think that Central is battle tested, and I think that they understand the assignment of a type of game like this. I think if this is next year, I think it's different. But I got to go to North Carolina Central. I think this game is going to be close, but I think that Trey Oliver, I think, is just going to win this game. I got to go with Central. But South Carolina State, I will not be. I have to play it both ways. If you guys can get Eric Phoenix going and not turn the ball over, that's your key to victory.
All right, let's go to the next slate of games in the SWAC. Let's go with this is a. I don't know what this game is, but it's Prairie View and Mississippi Valley. Bubba needs a win against a SWAC school, and I believe he'll pull it out against Mississippi Valley.
This game is at Mississippi Valley. Valley is 0-8. They played UAPB okay, but I'm like you, Prairie View has to win this game. This is non-negotiable for those people down in Prairie View. So I'm going with you. I've got to go with Prairie View on this game.
Okay. Coach, it's on you.
Yeah, you got to go with Prairie View.
All right. Is there any question with UAPB and Jackson State? Anybody want to put up any?
Man, listen, they're going to – that boom is going to be booming. Alumni J sets are coming out. The alumni band is coming out. They're going to have about 45, 50,000 people strong. They're going to put up 50 points in this game. They're not going to mess around with UAPB.
Okay. All right. I agree. And here, another friend of the show, another guy who really needs a win, Coach Mickey Josephs, travels down to Daytona to get to try to get a victory against Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman got a victory against Mississippi Valley last week. I just don't see the G-Men losing this game, to be honest with you. I got to take the G-Men on this one.
Woo!
I'm going to take the upset of Bethune over Grambling. with Grambling losing his quarterback, we'll find out how his health is. Is he coming back or not? If he don't come back, I'll take Bethune.
Listen, you coach said it. Lost their quarterback. Bethune switched to their quarterback. Sprague looked good for a half. Grambling, this is danger time for Grambling. And what the fun fact is, Bethune, when Grambling was making their run, they were the only HBCU that actually beat them down the ground. I was at that game. It was pretty amazing. I think it was 2017 when they beat them. This is in Bethune. I had Grambling win this game when I first looked at this, but something's telling me that Bethune is going to win this game, a close game. And I can't believe I'm saying this because, like I said, I'm a G fan, but I think Bethune is going to win this game because I think Grambling is in a little bit of disarray. I'm going to have to go with Bethune.
Yeah, they're saying Crowley might be out 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right. This next one, I think it almost made the big game list because Southern needs this game. If Southern doesn't get this game, all the work they did in the first half of the season is all for naught. Because that would potentially put them behind Alcorn and looking up at Alcorn State. I
got A&M because Southern still ain't figured out on offense. I think Maynard at home can put points up. I got A&M.
Well, go ahead, Mr. Campbell.
Now, this is one of those. I think I'm undefeated in all my bets. I made 2 bets this year. I bet my nephew Teldrin that Southern would not make it to the SWAC championship game. I bet him $200, and then I made a bet about winning a sweatshirt Alabama A&M. So this is my bet game. So for me, my pocketbook says I need Alabama A&M to win this game to save potentially Southern not getting to the championship game. But A&M again has just looked totally inconsistent. Southern, I think their quarterback, I think Southern can't score. Again, I think you talking about our offense. Clearly, Southern offense has been doing about smoke and mirrors. I think this game, I think Maynard pulls this game out. I think Alabama A&M. I know this doesn't sound right, but I think Alabama A&M wins this game.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just think Alabama A&M's Southern will be able to run the ball against Alabama A&M, and Southern defense is pretty stout. To be perfectly honest with you, and I look for Southern to win this in a narrow victory, something in the neighborhood of 17-14, 17-10, something like that. But I don't see Alabama A&M putting up much points against Southern, to be perfectly honest with you. Southern actually played, pretty tough against FAMU, and I just think they'll also play tough against Alabama A&M and winning a close victory.
I tell you what, now I think Perry dipped up out of here, but I remember Perry White last year. I think Southern had this long winning streak against Alabama State, and they lost. I think they have the same thing against Alabama, and Southern doesn't lose to those schools. Hey, man, listen. I think, again, this streak is going to get broken. Southern, again, when you look at them offensively and you look at Alabama A&M can get any – I tell you what, if they play offensively like they played against Alabama State, they're going to win this game. They're going to win this game. So we'll see. But like I say, I'd rather wear the sweatshirt to give up the $200.
All right. This is what I consider a big game for both teams.
Every game Alcorn play from here on out is a big game.
It's a big game.
Every time they lose and Southern lose, Southern's in the favorite. And every time the Alcorn lose and Southern lose, Texas Southern is waiting right there. So we got to count all the wins and the losses next week.
Man, I've looked at this game. I just don't know who to pick in this game. And if I could pick a tie, I'd pick a tie. But I know it won't be in a tie. I just got to go with the best unit on the field, and it's Alabama State's defense. I got to go with the best unit on the field.
Good choice.
And I got to go with Alabama State. Go ahead, guys.
Listen, man, I'm going to tell you what's so funny. I think we talked about this. I think Alabama State had a crazy schedule where literally like 9 out of their 12 games were in the state of Alabama. This game is in Mobile, I believe. If I remember correctly, yes, it's in Mobile. So while Alcorn might be the home team, Alabama State is the home state.
Yeah.
I think Alabama State's defense is again going to rise to the occasion. I think they understand what they're playing for. I think Alabama State has acquired confidence looking at their schedule, saying that, hey, if we can keep winning, we got Jackson State at the end of the season, we can go to the SWAC championship. I think they understand the assignment. I think Alcorn, again, I think they're playing close, but I think Alabama State has played better offensive teams, and their defense has come through. I got Alabama State winning this game.
Yeah, them boys say they Alcorn got an off week, so they should be well prepared.
Okay.
All right.
This is the big one. This is the big one right here.
What's big about it?
But that's what I'm saying. Why even lie to these people like this?
This is the big one for all the marbles at HBCU Coaches Corner. This is against the TSU alum versus the Florida A&M alum.
Coach, you just go ahead and go first, because it's not, you're not gonna talk too long about what you even think gonna happen. So I'm gonna
TSU. Who you root for? TSU. It's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be a close one. But I got Florida A&M at Florida A&M. 17-7.
Whew. Man. Well, Coach, listen.
You know, don't sleep on Texas Southern's defense now.
No,
they like to intercept balls.
I agree. Well, here's the thing, Coach. This is homecoming for Florida A&M University. The Rattlers are coming to the home. Most of us will be there Thursday. A lot of us are now talking football, which I like. Man, I haven't heard too much about the March 100 the whole season. I think that the football team, the new guys even understand that we don't lose and brag. I hear the new guys saying that now. I like that. I really like that. So I think this will be our breakout game. I know I've been saying it, but I think I'm going to have to ride this one. I think this will be our breakout game. I think FAMU will finally get 28 points. Finally. I think this will be the game they get 28 points. So I'm going to go FAMU 28, and I'm going to go Texas Southern. I think they'll get a late 3. I'm going to go Texas Southern 17. 28-17, the Rattlers celebrate homecoming. I'm going to be down there looking for, I got little shorty I'm looking for. She know who she is. You know what I'm saying? I already, got to find her, put her in the Escalade, let her hang out with me.
Really, man?
Hey, man, listen. Hey. We need to win that game. I need to get her in the Escalade, and we need to ride out. She watching the show. I saw her. She in the chat.
Hey, let me ask you this here. Is this a game that y'all pull out thick 38, thick 43?
Rocky, let me tell you something. One thing about FAMU homecoming, it's going to be thick 18 to thick 98. That's one thing about
it. Hey guys, make sure y'all keep up with them boys. He said if Texas Southern win, he gonna put $20 in our chat.
Now see, this is my guy. This guy played for WC Gordon, went to Club LA. I know, and now he gonna sit up here and his hard-earned money, Jackson State alumnus, gonna put his hard-earned money on Texas Southern. I just trying to tell you, man. Look, well, I tell you one thing, Coach. That $20, you'll never see that on Super Chat. I'm gonna tell you that right. He knows that money is going to be safe. That's why he said it. He knows that money's going to be safe.
Hey, them boys. Let me ask them boys this: how many does Texas Southern score? That's what I want to know. And see how much confidence you got in that. If they score under, you keep your money. If they score over, send it over. How about that?
Oh, he hadn't came back.
No,
he tried to play y'all. So that's them Jack State education. See, you got to watch them Jackson hustlers, boy. He said, I said my money is safe. So he just played with you. You got to read that fine print from them Jackson hustlers, boy. It get you, man. It get you, boy. You know, you've been out there on Lynn Street or Maple Street Valley.
It says less than 20, but I only deal with W's and L's. Oh, yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to take FAMU on this game, but I look forward to TSU making a spirited showing. Hopefully, they show up better than the last two times the Texas team traveled to FAMU and played. They can't do worse, to be perfectly honest with you. And so hopefully they show up a little better. But I pick FAMU to win the game. No doubt.
Yeah, man. We're not. Well, I tell you one thing: Texas Southern is not going to break the streak. They're not going to break the streak. Bragg is going to be sold out. I'm pretty sure the Ocean of Soul is not coming all the way to Tallahassee. So it's just going to be the football team with a sea of orange and green. It's going to be hot. FAMU folks is going to be rowdy. And again, I think just homecoming, man. We don't lose homecoming, man. We've been winning homecoming for a second. We don't lose homecoming.
I got you.
So shout out to all the rallies and shout out to my folks. So I'm gonna say this, and this is why I just want to make this quick point. I've seen a lot because I think I have friends that have children at a lot of these schools. I want to say something. Be safe for homecoming, but I also want to say this to the news. Stop saying that a shooting that was in the proximity of X university had anything to do with X university when 99% of the time it had nothing to do with a student or alumni. Stop trying to side associate us with violence because 99% of the time, our students are not the ones that do it. Our alumni are not the ones that do it. And then just because somebody had a party down the street and said, oh, because it's homecoming, that X school has something to do with it. So Jack State has a homecoming. FAMU has a homecoming. If something go down, it's not going to be Jack State folks. It's not going to be FAMU folks. Don't be putting that in the newspaper because I'm tired of that because I get all the people, oh, there's violence we need to be talking about. There is violence in all these cities, but it is not the alumni that are doing it. The alumni come to support their schools. The alumni come to give money. And these people, and I'm gonna say this again, these people college educated, they ain't trying to get nothing, they ain't trying to get a misdemeanor. These folks got licenses, law licenses, doctor licenses, real estate license, they ain't messing around. So stop with that foolishness because, like I said, this is that white media once again trying to paint this broad brush. And I'm saying this because I've seen this, and I have my white friends that I went to high school with. Hey man, is it gonna be dangerous in Jackson this weekend? We might not be going out. Like, man, shut up with that BS, man. So I'm not going for that. So Jackson's gonna be just fine. Tallahassee is gonna be just fine. Anybody else have a homecoming is just gonna be just fine. Because it just gets on my nerves that this white media is putting in. Albany State has something, and it was teenagers. It had nothing to do with Albany State. I can't speak on the thing that happened in Central. I don't really know about that. But all the other things I have seen had nothing to do with any of our fine students and any of our fine alumni. So, like I say, so stop trying to disrespect us because we don't play that.
Absolutely. Hey guys, this has been another great show, man. I'd like to ask everyone at this time, if you haven't already done it, please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. I'm gonna put the link to our channel on this. If you happen to be watching it on Scotty's channel, I'm gonna put the link in there. And please, when you get a chance, go over there and like and subscribe. We certainly appreciate your channel. The likes and the subscriptions help the algorithm spread the news, the good news about HBCU Coaches Corner, one of the best HBCU football and sports broadcasts on YouTube, hands down. Thanks to my man, Johnnie Cole, Coach Cole, and none other than the bishop himself, Mr. Campbell. So, but if y'all, I don't have anything, guys. You have anything before we wrap up?
I just got one thing, Coach. I know you let it close it out.
Okay.
Coach is going to probably talk about this, but again, as somebody whose family marched for freedom, who understand how important voting is, I'm asking those, because I'm pretty sure a majority of us have voted or will vote, but we all know somebody that will not. Please talk to them and let them understand that people died for your right. My family marched from Tougaloo all the way to the Capitol, as my grandma was saying, high heels and suits, to make sure that when I went and voted, I didn't have to worry about voting in fear. That voting means something to me. I'm 54 years old, Coach. I started voting in 1988. I haven't missed a vote because I understand how important that is. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, even though you should know who to vote for. But what I'm asking all of you all that are HBCU supporters and alumni, make sure that your friends, and we know those people that are spreading conspiracy theories and stuff like that, talk to them, educate them, and let them know that your vote is important.
Hey, guys, our show will be on Election Day tomorrow, so I think we should suspend it. That would be my recommendation. We may be able to do it. We'll talk about if we can do it Wednesday, if in fact that works for everybody. But I know we all have different schedules, so we'll talk about it offline and figure out if we need to. We'd like to have a show next week, but if we don't, it'll be based on availability. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's only right about moving the show next week. We'll figure out whether it's Monday or Wednesday. Hopefully by Wednesday we will have a new president by Wednesday. I think it's just respectful that we don't have the show on next Tuesday, because everybody will be glued. That's just how big this election is, you know. Going around in circles about who our next president is going to be. Whatever, I always look at it as whatever position that you take of who you in favor with, as far as the presidents to be words of what they're saying, what they're stand for. I know Kamala Harris has been getting a lot of who she is. I think she's told you who she is. She wouldn't be qualified if she wasn't the vice president. I don't get that, and I see, I know this media thing is talking about black men not supporting Kamala, or young black men not supporting her. And I've seen some clips of guys talking about how she used to be, and she just now owning she's black. Let's wipe all that out. I mean, now all that is because we're not asking the other candidate the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we get caught up in how much money somebody has. Well, you only got one butt. You can only drive one car. You only got two, a pair of feet that you can only wear one pair of shoes. It's about who you are on the inside. The same problems going on in $10 million houses are the same problems going on in $1,000 house. Believe me, as long as there's people, things happen. It don't matter, how much money you got. It's about who you are as a person. That's how I kind of look at it. I think Kamala Harris is qualified, just as definitely as qualified as the next candidate. She's been a DA in one of the biggest states in the country. So I think let's look at the things that she stands for. That's important. If the things that she's talking about and representing fits you and what you want in the United States, then you vote for it. If Donald Trump is saying some things that he likes or he stands for that you like, then you like Donald Trump. Let's get out of the personal of how you feel about somebody. And yes, you can do what you want. My show, I'm just letting you know that I'm looking for what they stand for and things that's going to affect me and my house and my family. I think that's the way it is. But if you don't vote, I think you're making a big mistake. Each and every vote counts, and vote for the person who you think is the best candidate for the United States. I appreciate you guys. As always, if you feel yourself going down, you feel yourself not doing the right things, man, always remember there's somebody upstairs. Everything that takes you down makes you better on your way up. Thank you guys for continuing to watch our show. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. We will let you guys know through YouTube that we will definitely have a show next week. Again, appreciate you. Tie knot at the end of the rope. Hold on tight.
We made it Friday, November 8th, 2024. Number 1, President Biden addressed the nation Thursday from the Rose Garden, emphasizing the power of the people to choose their leaders through peaceful elections. He pledged a peaceful transition to President-elect Donald Trump and expressed his respect for Vice President Kamala Harris's character and contributions. In his closing, the president urged Americans to see each other as fellow citizens, not adversaries, and thanked election workers for upholding the integrity of the election process. Number 2, Cuba faced widespread destruction Thursday after a Category 3 hurricane knocked out the power grid, downed trees, and damaged infrastructure across the island. While no fatalities were reported, thousands took shelter and residents banded together to clear debris and set up makeshift food services amid ongoing blackouts. Officials began partial power restoration, though full recovery is expected to take time as safety measures are prioritized. Number 3, the CDC now advises high-risk adults, including those 65 and older and immunocompromised individuals, to get a second COVID booster from the 2024-25 vaccine series 6 months after their initial dose. This follows similar guidance for extra doses given in past years to bolster immunity for at-risk groups. While COVID vaccines are administered more frequently than most, experts affirm the effectiveness of the mRNA vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna. Number 4, Sarah McBride made history as the first openly transgender person elected to the United States Congress, winning Delaware's sole House seat. She defeated her Republican opponent, James Whalen III, with 57.8% of the vote. McBride's priorities include expanding affordable health care, protecting reproductive rights, and raising the minimum wage. Number 5, R. Dean Miller, founder of Ma Melanin, launched the first Black-owned gift wrapping brand to partner with Hallmark and Lowe's nationwide. Her company celebrates Black culture with products that promote diversity and inclusion in retail. Under Miller's leadership, Ma Melanin has gained endorsements from industry icons and national recognition, including features by the NBA and QVC's The Big Find. All right. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Life is a series of choices. Let's all choose to stay positive by focusing on solutions rather than dwelling on problems. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed. Be in.
On the lunch break with A.J. Jones.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.